Hello there. Although that's probably the intro that we'll save for the podcast, so I'll just say welcome. For those who don't know me, my name is Tim, and I am Spudgun Sniper. You may have seen my X-Wing streams, you may have been to one of my events, or equally you may have just seen me knocking around on Facebook. So, I thought I'd just do a little video to introduce my Patreon page. So I'll bring it up in the background. This is something I've been asked to provide for a little while for people that wanted to support the Twitch stream and help with what I've been doing. So all the equipment currently that I use for streaming I've bought myself, bar the laptop which Glenn, one of the Civ takers, has lent me, and also I occasionally borrow webcam or mic from Element Games. So yeah, otherwise I've paid for everything myself. And the reason I've kind of got round to making a Patreon page now is that I've got an invitation to the X-Wing Worlds later this year, probably around about October time. So for those who don't know, I played Simran in the final at Harlequin's Hyperspace Trial, Harlequin's Preston, and because Simran has won an invitation to Worlds already for winning the regional at Sheffield Patriot last year, his invitation passes down to me, which is pretty nice. But this is another expense that I've obviously now going to look to fund, and I thought it's probably the perfect time to sort of get the Patreon going. So I'm just going to slide myself using technology to one side. Oop. So yeah, if you go to patreon.com/Spudgun_Sniper, so the same sort of Spudgun_Sniper you'll see on the Twitch channel, this will bring you to the Patreon page. I've done a little bit of an intro, so I'm going to call this Spudgun's Worlds Tour. So it's kind of a 6-month project building up to World Championships in Minnesota. And yeah, this is what you can find. So it gives you a little bit of an intro about who I am, what I do. We've got the tiers on the right hand side. So the lowest tier is the supporter. Now what I'm looking to do is I want to try and provide a different or a next level of content from what I've been doing. So the Twitch streaming is still going to be utterly free and available for people to go and watch, and that's the Tuesday night gaming, that's the events that happen once a month or so at Element Games, but I will be doing a weekly video log much like this. Some of the logs might be 15 minutes, some of them might end up being like commentated games. So what I might end up doing now is recording a game on Thursday night, either perhaps get a couple of guests on, it'll be me versus somebody else, and sort of my practice games building up for events and building up for the World Championships, and do a bit of commentary overlaid on top of that, maybe explain what I'm doing. Equally, I want to try and make sure that I'm not repeating content. So sometimes I'll be going to events and I'll be covering that on the Civ Taker Snapshot podcast. Well, I don't want to be duplicating it. So what you might find with the Patreon stuff is I might do like little reports on the day. I might send some pictures and bits and bobs like that. And then the Snapshots podcast will be a bit more perhaps an in-depth look like the night after or something like that. I've also set up a Discord server. So if you get any of the tiers for Patreon, you get automatically get private access to this. And this is where we can have a bit of a chat about perhaps my build up to events, and whilst I'm at events I can share results and other things that are going on. I'm also going to run a pre-Worlds warm-up event for anybody that's interested, and anybody that backs on any of the tiers will get access to this event. I don't know if it'll be purely invitation only, as in it's only open to patrons. We'll see how many patrons I end up getting, how many people want to come, but there may be spare spots that are open up to other people. But if you back from Little Spud onwards, your tickets will get very cheap, and we'll explain that as we go through. I'm going to set up a merchandise store as well, and more details on that shortly. And I think this is probably the most interesting thing I'm going to create is I'm going to create a tour shirt. So you may have seen it. I know, like I mean, I had one when we did like basic training in the Air Force. You get all your intake mates' names on the back of your shirt. Well, that's what I'm going to do with all my supporters. So all my supporters are going to be on the back, plus the companies that hopefully will be supporting me. And then that shirt is something that I'll be wearing at Worlds as a sort of, these are the people that got me to, Worlds. But equally, that shirt will be available to buy as well. So if you want to show your support, you can wear that as well. So we're going to Little Spud. So the supporter is $2.70 a month. Little Spud goes up to $4.50, so I think that's like £2-3. So not only do you get everything from the lower tier, but you'll get half price entry to the event. So the event's probably going to be about £20-25 for a one-day event. There'll be hopefully lots of prizes there. More importantly, I will be giving away my World's participation prizes as part of the prize structure for that. So if you support me and come along to this event, there is a chance that you can win World's participation cards, not just for placing. There'll be some random, like there'll be perhaps a raffle for certain bits. That's all sort of to be confirmed. Obviously, we need to wait and see what's coming out. But if you have a look at perhaps some of the World's prizes that come out for Armada and Imperial Assault, there's a selection of cards and there's acrylics just for taking part. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of swag that I can pass on to my supporters. Been chatting with my good friend Steve Thorley about alt art cards, and I am commissioning the Mighty Morphin Inferno squad. So there will be 6 cards in total, and if you back on Little Spud, every 3 months you'll be able to claim one of these alt art cards for free, and I'll post it out to you. So that's pretty cool. But if you go up to Big Spud, which is only double the price, I'll give you 3 cards every 3 months. So the first 3 are going to be Iden, who's the Red Ranger, Hal Runner, who's the Green Ranger, and Wampa, who's the Black Ranger. So they'll be the first 3 cards you can get. Equally, going up to Big Spud, you're going to get a slightly bigger discount on the merch store once we get that going. And there could be, if you perhaps go on Little Spud and you want some of the alt arts a bit quicker, you can buy those through there. Equally, I'm going to look at getting some other bits done. I've been thinking about getting my Spudmic charges, for, sort of seismic charges. So I'll be speaking to 1 or 2 of the fantastic acrylic producers like Coggo2 about seeing if we can produce some limited edition tokens or something that will also help my trip. And if you scroll up to King Spud, now King Spud is $18 a month, which is only about £13. But I wanted to try and give some extra special things away at this level. So not only will you get 50% off at the merch store, you'll get free access to my pre-Worlds event, and I will get you your own tour shirt. And these tour shirts will be a different colour to those that you can buy from the merch store as like a little special thank you to sort of show that off. So they're sort of the tiers that you can look at. I'll slide myself back over this side now. I've set a goal here of $270 a month, and that sounds pretty high. And we'll see how it goes, but that's just roughly speaking. I mean, if I'm hitting that every month, that's Worlds completely paid for. I am expecting to have to pay my own money into this, but anything that we can raise to sort of help the burden will be massive. So I thought I'd put this up here. And this is kind of a 6-month goal. So once we get to the end of the 6 months, I might review things after Worlds and see where we want to go with things. And anything that I make sort of over and above this, I will actually be putting into better streaming equipment. So one thing I've been thinking about possibly looking at is a different internet connection, so maybe a dongle or something like that, because sometimes the internet at Element Games can be a little bit patchy for streaming. Equally, my lovely podcast mic is deciding to play up a bit at the moment, so I might need to look at a new one to that. I'm also getting a little bit of peer pressure from the lovely Sif Takers to attend Euros in Poland. So that would be potentially another expense that I would like to put this sort of the fundraising towards. So this is just a brief overview. I'm going to upload this video and it will be the sort of the first post on here. I'm off to Rebel Base Gaming for their March event and so expect some updates tomorrow. I'll probably even do some exclusive Patreon stuff, like some pictures and bits and bobs, just to sort of test out the function. So yeah, thanks in advance. You've all been fantastic. The Twitch subs I've received. This is the other reason for using Patreon. Twitch doesn't pay out. So although I've been an affiliate, I think for I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months, doesn't pay out until you take $100 in subs. Now every sub that I get only puts about $2.20 in the pot, and they don't pay out until you get to $100. So although I've got $60 potentially up there, until I take that other $40, I'm not going to get paid out. Which is never really about the money, but equally I need to try and make this sort of pay for itself. And equally, if I can make this work to send me to Worlds and provide better content for potential viewers, then why not give it a go and see what happens. I am gonna make every effort to get to Worlds no matter what happens with fundraising or anything like that, but this will go a massive way to helping me get there. So yeah, thanks in advance, and yeah, thanks for watching.